Welcome to Bothering the Band. My name is Ryan Bynack. With me, as always, Abigail Ann Levy. We have a giggle fest for you today because we have the hilarious, sexy Kyle Kinane on this podcast. He's a comedian who used to be a musician. His new special is called Shocks and Struts. Go watch it right after listening to this. Ladies and gentlemen, Bothering the Band with Kyle Kinane. Hey, Kyle.
How's it going?
It's going well. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Cool. Well, welcome to Bothering the Band, my man.
Yeah, there we go. Alrighty. Yeah, there we go. That's the stuff.
That's the stuff. Dude, we're so happy to have you. We're massive fans, and
Thanks.
we have a music podcast, and we are comedy adjacent, and we watched your special, Shocks and Struts, which is so fucking good. And
Thanks.
we remembered why we started this thing during the pandemic. We were like, we just want to be friends with people we admire, and it's primarily musicians. And then we're like, oh, we want to chat with Kyle Kinane.
Sure.
So thanks, dude.
We're doing it. Yeah, no, I've used comedy to become friends with band guys. I've used the in. I know.
Yeah. We have some mutual friends in Ben Roy and Brooks
Benjamin.
Wheelan.
Yeah, I
And
know all those ding dongs.
we just had Billy Wayne Davis on.
Billy's great.
Yeah, he's a sweetheart. And
Mhm.
so it just makes sense. You had some good musical references, and you were in a band. Please tell us about this.
All that stuff. The Grand Marquis. We were you can tell, well, the band listened to a lot of Face to Face and Screeching Weasel. The drummer listened to a lot of Blink 182, and that is very evident if you ever hear us. Like, it's just the drummer going, we could speed it up. It's like, oh, we don't have to, but then we would because he's the drummer. And so you just go as fast as the drummer's going. And we were non confrontational with that. So I guess, like, all right, everything's faster now.
I love that you said Face to Face. We love Face to Face. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. That Big Choice record just brings me back to my childhood.
Oh man. So that tour, I think my shirt got thrown out. My 1995 tour T-shirt from Big Choice got thrown out. Oh, it's so much stuff where you're like, at the time you're like, whatever. And I didn't know I was gonna live this long, and that a T-shirt from 30 some years ago would be excite me.
Oh, absolutely. We're in the a habit now of trying to find those shirts, but not pay, like, we're trying to find like reproductions of like albums we liked and shit like that.
Yeah, people are doing the old, like, the hair metal band shirts were going for top dollar. All right. I have some of those too around me, I think, but
Yeah. Okay, cool. So how are you and where are you?
how am I? I'm good. I'm good. I'm a little sleepy, but that's all right. I had to get up in the single digits today, like an actual adult, and so that really tuckers me out if I got to get up before 10 a.m. But that's on me, and I'm in Oregon where I live. Yeah.
Very, very cool. Right before you logged on, Abby was saying something similar. If she didn't get her nap in today, so she's a little cranky. If she snaps at you about.
I feel you. I feel you. The nap was kind of happening before this, and I'm like, well, we'll do this, and then we can have a little nap, then a little evening. I don't know. It's Tuesday. I don't know. I'm not gonna get in that too much trouble at night. But
Do you have any spots tonight?
no, I did one last night. I got back Sunday night. Had a spot last night. Had to get up early for some stuff today, and was kind of running around. And back out Thursday. So got a couple days to kind of organize my life at home, and then back on the road for 10 days. So where are you guys at? Where are y'all located?
We're both in Florida, just different parts.
Okay.
Yeah, Abby recently relocated from Wyoming back to Florida.
Wyoming to Florida. All right.
Yeah, I tried to talk her out of it, but
Yeah, what's
You don't have to move 500 feet of snow every winter.
you're 100% right.
no? Well, you can't shovel hurricane water though. So
No, but I made sure I got a place on a higher floor. So,
smart
it'll
move.
wreck the neighbors first.
Smart move. Yeah, just make sure your car insurance is up to date.
Exactly.
Did you get your windshield fixed? Didn't you have a windshield, like broken windshield?
That was like, yes, I got that fixed like 8 months ago.
Fair enough. Okay, Kyle, when's the last time you went to Cole's Bar in Chicago?
Coles? Oh, it's been a long time. That place came up after I left, and then it turned into the Wednesday night comedy show. So when I was visiting, if I was visiting on a Wednesday night and I was bouncing around the city, I'd pop in there. But it's been a few years.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I don't think I've been. I don't know if Adam Burke still runs it. It used to be him and Cameron Esposito's show. Obviously, she's moved, but I don't know if Adam still runs it or not. But it's been a while. So if that was the test, yeah, it's been a while since I've been to Coles.
Yeah, I love that place. When I'm in Chicago, you're a Chicago guy. I didn't know if the timeline overlapped, but you were saying you got out before.
Yeah, I left in 2003, so it's almost a full turnover of, I mean, it's 20 years. So yeah, I don't know what bars. I mean, the Lincoln Lodge has moved and is turned into a permanent venue, which I'm happy about. So I go visit that one. But as far as spots that I used to hang at or do stand up at, they've all changed hands or closed down. So I go back and I'm like, oh, I'll go out to the city tonight. I don't even know where I'm going anymore. I don't even know what the spots are.
That's how I feel about New York.
Yeah, I just go to Dave and Buster's out in the burbs. Just gonna get high, play some video games at Dave and Buster's. I'm not trying to stay out till 4 a.m. Old.
I love Dave and Buster's because they have Connect 4 basketball.
Yeah, just trying to have some garlic knots, a few drinks. I'm not trying to be crazy anymore.
I just like you. I just pretend I'm not here. You guys keep going on Dave and Buster's.
It's a refreshing to get to an age where you're like, oh, I'm not, where the FOMO subsides. Like, oh, I did all this stuff. I know, and I'm not sad about it. I'm not sad that I don't feel like I'm so old. I don't like having fun. I just like having different types of fun. And it's okay to welcome that.
Yeah. Do you look back on the fun you had? And this is where I'm at, it's like a badge of honor. Like you said, FOMO's gone. And if someone says something like, oh, last night, like if a younger person was like, last night we got crazy, and then they describe their night, you're like, oh yeah, I used to do that. That was great.
Yeah. And none of those stories make me wish I was, who's
Not
even,
at all.
but I don't know if people are like binge drinking anymore. I don't think 25-year-olds don't seem like they're going out and getting fucked up. It seems like there's a little more awareness, or is it pragmatism? I don't know, but like they're not throwing caution to the wind. I think there's a little more like, well, the world's kind of fucked up and I don't need to sit here and be drunk when I have bigger concerns on my mind. Or I don't see it because, again, I'm not around those parts. I'm at comedy shows where outside of some audience members every weekend, there's always somebody that's too drunk at the comedy show. But the comedians themselves, the shows that I go to, everybody's kind of keeping it together much more so than I was in my 20s starting comedy. We were in Chicago. We were a drunken mess, or at least the small percentage of the people that I hung out with out of the larger scene were a drunken mess, but everybody else just went home early. That's why I didn't incorporate them. Maybe I'm the percentage that's going home early. Maybe they're going nuts, but it doesn't seem like it anymore.
I don't think they are though, because like mocktail bars are a huge thing now. Have you seen this? Like, I'm not going to spend $18 on a non-alcoholic drink. I'm just going to stay home.
I'm not going to spend $18 on any kind of drink. I will have it at home first, and then my buddy Kyle comic from Chicago, Sean Flannery, would always go. He always had a briefcase full of business papers, which was just a variety of beers. So whatever bar we were in, be like, "Hey, do they have Corona in a bottle at this bar?" I'm like, "I think so." And you just hear like, pss, pss, so he'd open up a couple of those, or you would take rolls of. You just have rolls of different colored drink tickets on them at all times. Like, oh, what color are the tickets at this bar? Like, if oh, green, I got green. And that's how he would always had a few
That's
strips
brilliant.
of different colored tickets on them. Yeah, there's ways around that kind of stuff. Paying for things. There's ways around.
I'm glad you hit that because I was
Yeah.
gonna just let it go.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
ways around capitalism.
yeah.
Booze.
But I don't think. I think enough people saw that older generation just getting wasted and doing nothing good for themselves, and maybe they're tapering off and being a little bit more about self-preservation, and that's a good thing. I don't think they're less fun because of it. So
It's like, why is your dad groan every time he gets up? Oh, it's because he didn't take care of himself. He drank. He still
Yeah.
drinks
We
every day,
drank
and only eats
Mhm.
cheese because that was on the food pyramid.
mhm.
cheese and bread.
Cheese and
Yep.
so much bread
Yeah.
and cow's milk. Did you ride your bike today? I know you're big into bike riding.
No, I've been off the bike for 3 weeks.
Oh, you hurt yourself, right?
Yeah,
On your Instagram. That's
I
right.
I fractured my tibial plateau, which
Oh,
is that's what
devil.
I found out a week ago. But it sounds worse than it is. I guess it's just a little tiny part at the very top of my shin bone that I fractured on a bike. But I've been nursing myself back to health.
Did the bike crash? Oh,
Yeah, well, this wasn't even crash. I didn't even crash like cool. I entered a bike race. I've done nothing competitive, like physically competitive in my entire life. I am not an athlete. I don't have a competitive spirit in that sense, but I was like, I'm gonna enter this mountain bike race just because it'd be fun to participate in a thing. And I have no illusions of great. I'm not gonna win. I'm gonna come in last, but it's all right. I'm gonna do the thing. I'm gonna meet people, and it's just all in good fun. And I didn't even get to come in last because on the practice part, I just put my foot down wrong because I was starting to crash, and then my knee, they ever see like when people like squish a s'mores together between the graham crackers? That's what it felt like my knee did. It just kind of went. I just felt like the grilled cheese come out the sides. And I was like, well, that's incorrect. That's an incorrect feeling. That shouldn't feel that way. And then that was on the practice run, and I was about to do the race, and I'm like, oh, if I do the race, I might not walk for a long time. So I bowed out. So I didn't even get last place. I didn't even get the participation trophy, which is kind of a bummer.
Oh, bummer, man. When you heal up, are you going to try it again? Maybe next year?
Yeah, hopefully I'm back on the bike in a few weeks. Doctor said the bone will heal on its own. I got to do a little physical therapy to get I've been walking kind of cockeyed for a few weeks, so that screws things up on the other side of your body.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're leaning one way,
Then your back starts hurting and shit.
Yeah. It's like when the alignment's wrong on your car, you're wearing your tires down all weird. So I've been doing that for a few weeks. I'm trying to, teeter back the other way a little bit when I'm walking around. So
I hurt my back and I'm doing the same thing because I was leaning like this for like a whole week. And then today I was like, why does this side hurt so much? And I was like, oh, it carried all the weight. And same thing. It was something stupid. I just cleaned something weird and was like, oh, I can't walk now.
Yeah, we're in the age of waking up in pain because you slept too hard on your side.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Oh, well.
I hurt my neck like a week ago in the shower, and I came out. I was like in pain and getting dressed, and it's in the morning, and my daughter is like, "Daddy, are you okay?" And I was like, "No, I hurt my neck." She's like, "How'd you do that?" I was like, "Shampooing my hair," and she couldn't compute like that is a thing. And I go, I said, "Daddy's body's dying," and to an 8-year-old, don't say that to an 8-year-old.
That's a little rough.
I know I forgot who my audience was, and she was like, wait, your body's dying? I was like, no, not really. I mean, technically, yes. I don't fuck.
But my soul will live on, like a ghost. Wait, what? All right. You know what? Let's get your mom in here to explain some of this because I'm not doing a good job.
I'm with you forever. Oh man. I thought about this today. I was riding my bike. I've been trying to ride my bike every day, and I'm not competitive, I'm not racing. So I thought of two questions for you. One, what's the gnat situation like in Oregon?
Gnats,
Yeah.
not as nothing's going to be bad as Florida in regards to insects.
I saw
So
so many gnats today. Just I did like one big loop and I was just like pulling them out of my beard.
that was having when I would ride in LA and just going through, you see the cloud coming on the path, and you're like, well, I'll close my mouth, but then your face is alive
Yeah.
with with inhabitants. Yeah, having a big beard and being like, oh, it's just everything's it's an ecosystem now on my
Yeah.
face until I can shake it out.
That's why I keep myself clean shaven.
Smart move. It's a
Yeah.
smart move to keep it, like a swimmer. You want the least resistance.
Okay, so let's say you're going to the store, you're just picking up something light, you're riding your bike. Are you riding on the street? Or are you riding on the sidewalk?
If I'm going to the store, I'm usually not. I usually if it's not driving, I usually just walk to the store. I don't have my casual bike is not set up for too much cargo. But if it's no sidewalk, unless the street's real dangerous and I don't see anybody on the sidewalk, then I'll do that. But otherwise, I'm on the street with a helmet, my lights on if it's got to be. That's just, I say, like, if I'm riding on the street, I'm always wearing a helmet. But then if I was on a bike path, just like a casual bike ride with the missus, and we're not going fast or anything, and it was all bike path. We like took our bikes in the car to the bike path, and I tried to zip my handlebar bag, forgetting. This is why I'm not athletic. Like the lack of coordination and common sense that's haunted me my whole life. I tried to zip my handlebar bag, which is attached to the handlebars, and the zipper was stuck. So I just pulled the zipper real hard to unstick it, meaning I just pulled my old handlebars to the side violently and just went over the bars into blackberry thorns and just laid there because I couldn't. It was like falling onto a bed of nails. So like I couldn't. There was no way to like get up. Like I'm like I can't just roll onto my side because I'm rolling onto more thorns. So I just laid there laughing, trying to assess my options. And of course, we didn't see anybody else on the bike trail the whole day until then I fall. And it's like, I don't know. So, whenever you see a whole family riding bikes, they're probably religious or something. They're probably Mormons if there's 5 of them and they're all over me like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm honestly, it's just my ego that hurts. I'd love it if you guys just continued on your way. I'm fine. But there might be something really, there's nothing wrong. It's just you looking at me. Just keep going. But so to answer your question, if I'm on the street in the city, helmet. To the store, helmet. Unless it's like a 5 mile an hour bike ride that's that kind of casual. Otherwise, if I'm commuting, then yeah, helmet on the street if there's bike lanes and everything. No sidewalk. Can't stand. You're on the sidewalk, get out of there.
All right, let's
Lime
move on
scooters.
real quick.
Oof. Oh no, you get me started on lime scooters and all that shit.
Oh yeah.
Go on. Sorry, go on. Bother me some more.
Instant right turn here. Back to music. What's the last music you listened to?
Last music. I went and saw a band called Gaytheist last week, and they were great. It's weird. I heard them in somebody's Instagram story, and they're kind of sounded like they reminded me of Torch. You want a Florida reference there?
Nice.
They reminded me of Torch, and then I looked them up. I'm like, oh, that's pretty good. I wonder if they ever play Portland. Well, it turned out they're from Portland. They were playing that weekend, so I went and saw them.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and they're called Gaytheist, and that name rules.
That's amazing.
That's like, you think there's not going to be like, oh, there's not going to be good band names anymore. Then you hear Gaytheist, you're like, oh, nailed it. Good job. So saw them. Gonna go see D4 and the Descendants in a couple weeks.
Nice.
Went saw Diesel Boy a couple weeks ago. That was a little blast from the past. It was like Yeah, I was like, I just saw that they were playing here. I'm like, I'm not doing anything tonight. I might as well go see this Diesel Boy. And my buddy's band called Versus the World was opening up for him. And so many bands are playing Portland, LA. I don't know if it was just I didn't know if bands were playing or if bands would skip LA because if you're not of the moment,
Yeah.
then there's really no scene there because everybody's either 22 and looking for the it thing, or if you're 40, you're not going to see music anymore in LA. You're already onward with your life. So bands would always skip over LA, you know, they play like San Diego or then they go up to Ventura or something. But Portland, there's always these bands playing here. So let's see, Chicks Dig It not too long ago.
Oh,
Still
nice.
one of the best bands ever. But yeah, all the time, of course, and stuff.
Very cool. We're seeing Black Flag soon.
Okay.
Similar, like it's like we saw it pop up. And we're like, let's fucking go see Black Flag. And the new lead singer is Mike Vallely, who's a skateboarder.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So he took over. I'm like, yeah, fuck
You
it.
always
Let's
got
go
to get
see.
somebody who's willing to punch everybody in the front row in the head. I think it's the only requirement for Black Flag is the frontman has to probably punch somebody in the front.
Yeah, there's a bunch of old skate videos of him fighting, so it's perfect. It fits.
Yeah, yeah.
The fit couldn't be more perfect.
I think it's a bunch of old fight videos of him occasionally skating.
Yes, there you go. There you go. Well said. Okay, in one of your bios or something, who's the woman who wrote poetry about Beanie Babies? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I just know that that's the of notable people from my hometown of Addison, Illinois. There's some lady that like I just was like, oh, let's see who's from Addison, and like that's like how bottom of the barrel that Wikipedia section is I'm listed in there and the Beanie Baby lady, and I don't know her, but she did something. I don't know if she helped the creator of Beanie Babies, like she stoked the flame of getting people excited about him, and then felt it's a whole story that I don't know who that person is. I just saw it on the Wikipedia. I'm like, all right, that's the next. That's what else is coming out of Addison, Illinois.
Oh, they're making some show or movie about. I wonder if she'll have a character based off of
About
her
what
about
about
Beanie Babies. They're doing something. I don't know if
the
it's
rise and fall of
yes.
you mean the original NFT?
Yeah. Way to go.
Will they
Oh,
include that couple that had to split their Beanie Babies in divorce court?
I hope it's all about that with like a weird flashback.
People really, yeah, it really was like these are gonna be their value's only gonna go up.
I'm so happy you say that because we talked about this. I don't know with who, maybe Matt Pinfield, someone like that. But we were 2 years ago. NFT is huge, and I was making the jokes that it's like Pogs,
Yeah,
and I think Beanie Babies is funnier, and they were before Pogs, or at the same time.
I did hear some like there were some interesting points that people made about that stuff, but it was still you couldn't sell it to a regular person. There was still no getting the general populace on board with like, no, it's like a digital art, but somebody could recreate it. Yeah, but it's not the art that is the value. It's like the blockchain, like nope, that's not. You're not gonna get the general public into it. So now the only reason it's valuable is to other people that also bought into that bullshit. But if then you're all like, well, we both all have to agree on this phantom concept of value.
We have a friend who is really into it, and then again, I'm a dad in the suburbs, and there were multiple other dads at like sporting events or whatever kids parties and shit, where they're like, "Oh, Ryan, you getting NFTs?" And I'm like, "I'm a writer, man. I know nothing about that shit, dude. Like, and, you gotta try it. You should do it." And then the whole blockchain, I just like mentally check out.
My buddy was early on Bitcoin, like early, and saw it rise a little bit and then sold them thinking, all right, good. And then it skyrocketed. But he's the one guy that I will listen to about this stuff because he is not fair weather about it. He's kind of has been listening for years and years. And I'm like, all right, well, if you can explain it to me, you know me, and you know I'm not going to understand the explanation that you give to other people. You got to tell me how you think I'm going to understand. That's the only understanding. That's what got me like kind of looking about him. But then I fell for that. There was the GameStop stock, and then it was the AMC stock, and I'm like, I'll throw a few bucks at it. I was like, yeah, we're taking down the man. But I like the Reddit where there's still like every day is like tomorrow's gonna be it. Tomorrow's about to go. I'm like, I'm getting rid of this shit. Give me my $300 back. All right. I'm like, I was with you for a while, but now this is truly delusional. Truly, people still just waiting for the dessert course on the Titanic. Like, no, everything's cool. It's fine. It's fine. It's going to happen. No, it's going to be fine. Like, all right, I think you got to cut your losses, everybody.
Oh, okay. This is an Abby question. Would you find it weird if you're at a Starbucks and the person in front of you only ordered food and then left?
Oh, I thought you were asking her. I'm like, oh, okay.
No. This happened to her, and she was
No, I do that.
flabbergasted.
I
You
do
just
that.
go to Starbucks for food?
No, but if it's the only thing around that's open,
Okay.
there's nothing at Starbucks like, boy, I sure am hungry. You know what I can go for? Something microwaved with less care than I'd put into it. That's never what I want. It's just like, oh, this is here and I need something now. Microwave a little egg sandwich for me. That's I'm not excited that that's what I'm eating. It's just sustaining me until I can have an actual meal. So I wouldn't think that's weird at all.
I think you're coming from someone like on the road, and let's give this stranger a benefit of the doubt. You're not wrong. It's still wacky.
There were several other restaurants open around
Really?
the area at the time. So this guy just ordered food and was really, it's weird to me. I don't know.
What food?
Spaghetti.
Yeah.
No, those little egg bake things.
Yeah. That's
like the quiche things?
Yeah.
But if I was just gonna get an egg McMuffin at McDonald's, why not just get it there? If I'm gonna get that same version of that trash at a place that's 10 minutes further away from me, I may as well just get it there. I don't romance food. I get in fights with people. Food. It's like it's like I need to eat food, so give me the food. It's not an experience for me. I'm the opposite of a foodie. I'm just like, oh yeah, I need this so I can continue living. So give it to me.
That's fair. That's very logical.
Yeah.
Very practical.
Well, sometimes I'm missing out on something that's amazing, but also
It's very zen. Okay. Another food question. Do you own those little corn cob shaped corn cob holders?
no, because I don't think they ever do. Like if I'm eating corn on the cob, like I'm getting it, like I'm in there. And two little pegs.
You do it with like machetes?
No, I'm just working it over. I'm just gonna get every little corn niblet off that cob.
But you eat it off the cob rather than some people who cut it all off?
I don't like it. It gets stuck in my teeth.
Yeah, I mean that's the nature of corn. If you're gonna dance,
Man's got a point.
if you're gonna dance with corn, your hands are gonna get buttery. I did have something called corn ribs recently, which I was like, what the hell is that? And they cut the corn off, but not just the little niblets, but so there's a little bit of the cob.
Yeah.
And then they barbecue, like they grilled it up with all the like the cotija cheese and the little Mexican spices on it.
That sounds good.
Yeah. But I'm about that corn.
I can't keep up with all these quotes.
But and that to be say, if I had the little things, maybe I'd mess with them. But I'm not making like corn on the cob as often as I thought I would be in this life.
Okay, where do you hang your towel?
Yeah.
Are you hanging your towel over the shower curtain or glass or whatever you have, or is it on a rack, or is it behind the door on a thingy? Where's
No,
your towel?
I got a hook. We're a sophisticated household here. I got a hook for it. Yeah, yeah.
And then how long are you using one towel? Let's say you're not too sweaty. You're not, you know.
A week's worth of showers.
Okay.
But if I'm not home, that means 7 showers. Sometimes I'm on the road. That towel might have been up there for 3 weeks because I've only used it a couple times a week. But I'd say if I'm at home and a week goes by, like I've been hitting that towel for a week. All right. Yeah, I'd say a week. Is that weird? What's the
No,
regular
I
answer?
think that's pretty normal. I'm rocking, a towel at least
Abby,
Monday through
what's the
Friday.
A week.
he told his kid his body's dying. So
That's true.
I need your opinion on what
I go a week.
about a week. All right,
Yeah.
okay.
Usually on Sunday, I'm like, okay, this is all done.
I will say
Yeah, I'm doing all the other laundry. You grab a towel, throw it in there.
Yeah. I will say you don't sweat though.
But now
Abby.
I live in Florida.
I know.
So now I
If you-
sweat this much.
If you don't sweat and you live in Florida, you are medically unwell.
Maybe your body's dying.
Your epidermis is in trouble.
Something is wrong. Yes, I do sweat now that I'm here.
Okay, a couple music questions for you. Fugazi or Minor Threat?
Oh, as far as what to listen to, I still think Minor Threat just gets me going for stuff to do. Fugazi's always good, but Fugazi can fall into that sounds like homework vein occasionally. We're like, oh, this seems like I'm supposed to be concentrating when I'm listening to this. Like it's like,
Yeah.
but they're not that far off. Like, yeah, but Fugazi, it's a little more thoughtful. It's a little more like, oh boy, I gotta, like you're doing a puzzle or something and you're playing.
You got to think
Fugazi.
about it a little bit more. You're aware of it a little bit.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, Newfound Glory or Good Charlotte?
Ugh. Minor Threat.
That is the correct answer. Boom. All right, moving on. Insane in the Membrane or Back on the Chain Gang?
Pretenders versus Cypress Hill.
I was looking for something to rhyme with your name. I don't know if
Okay. I mean, you're really going apples and oranges on that one.
It could be a subliminal, or what's the word I'm looking for? Subconscious way of getting to know you more, like your
both
preferences.
acts that could logically fit at Riot Fest at any time.
Yeah. Oh man.
I don't know. Today would be Pretenders, but there's some days I'm like, yeah, man, Cypress Hill just gets you in the zone.
Yeah. I'm taking so many notes. Okay. When you're jumping into a pool or a body of water, do you plug your nose?
I gotta think about one. Honestly, sometimes.
Okay.
Because I'm thinking like, oh, when I have to, but like, shit, I don't know. Like, I think that I do, but now I'm thinking into like when I'm just splashing around river tubing or going to a lake or something, taking a dip. I don't think I'm plugging it up. I think I'm just, because if I'm diving head first, that's what you don't need to plug it. You're going feet first. That's when you got to plug it.
Yeah.
So depends on the approach. That's the answer to that question.
Okay. we got some giggles. I love it. Such a dumb question. Do you save?
So you're getting dumb answers.
I know. This is a shining example of what we're trying to do here. Do you save cables? Are you saving random cables?
As I'm looking around, I'm notorious for like I'm pre-hoarder. as far as my behavior is. And we got this service called Ridwell here, and they will do odds and ends, stuff that doesn't go in your recycling or what have you. And sometimes they're like, their special pickup will be like batteries or light bulbs. And one day it was just electronics. And I was like, it's now or never. And I went through every old just box, the old PlayStation cables and this and that. And I really jettisoned a lot of them. And there's still plenty here, of which I think, I mean, I just look at this. I have a bag next to the desk. That just, I mean, I know this is an audio podcast, but that's just, what are all these? I don't even know what they are.
Those?
I don't know, but that's cables. But I don't know. I don't know what it's for.
But you never know when you'll need it. Like, I had to set up a new printer last week, and it's supposed to be wireless, but it wasn't working. And so I was like talking to the people at HP, and they're like, well, you're going to have to do it with an Ethernet cable. And I was like, who the fuck has an Ethernet cable? Guess what? Me, in my bag of cables.
I got one sitting over there because everybody started doing Zoom podcasts over the pandemic. And anytime, thank you guys for doing it over Zoom and not Riverside, because every time it's like, we're going to do it on Riverside. I'm like, well, I'll just tell you right now, my computer will shut down after 10 minutes of using this program unless I get an Ethernet cable. And then they're like, well, why don't you get an Ethernet cable? I'm like, well, why don't you just use Zoom like everybody else, you fucking jerks? But I now have an Ethernet cable that it's 50 feet long, so I can go from my bedroom down the hallway to where the router is in the living room. So it's a health hazard for the rest of the people in the house.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Follow up to that. Do you say, let's say you buy a new electronic, how long, or if at all, are you saving the box?
I've been pretty good. Once I know it works and I've done enough to that item to where I can't return it like it's new, the box is gone. I've been good about it. I got rid of all the Apple. Like, Apple needs to calm down on their packaging. Like, you don't need, everything could be $100 cheaper if you just cooled it on the packaging.
You mean boxes and boxes and boxes? Yes.
I gotta stop being I gotta stop being a little Apple slut. I think I gotta break away from these products.
Good luck.
So hard.
They were they really were great. And then boy, they've got real full of themselves. Now it's just a bunch of trash, isn't it? Bunch of sleek trash.
I'm gonna keep buying it though.
A bunch of slippery, thin remotes, computers, bunch of slippery electronics. That's what's good with a very expensive piece of equipment, is that it should slide off of every surface.
Yes, and also show every fingerprint.
Oh,
every
yeah.
single. You just wash your hands, and you touch the Z key, and you're like, oh, well, that's there for a week and a half.
I want this screen to look like camels have been spitting at it for 6 months because I opened it out of the box.
Like, make it all black.
Yeah, please make my phone greasy just from holding it to my face. I want to know how disgusting I am as a creature.
There's nothing more like humbling than when you like look at your phone.
Yeah.
Florida, god damn it. Okay, there's not a question here, but being a music podcast, everyone should go listen to your pod with Shane Torres, No Accounting for Taste. The Mom Rock episode is to die for.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, we're doing was like Maroon 5 and stuff. We're covered.
Oh yeah, there was a couple things where I talked out loud too. Like, I'm like in my garage, like painting or working out or some shit, and I was like, I think it was like Gin Blossoms. I was like, doesn't count, guys. Not Mom Rock.
Turned into Mom Rock. I know they had their roots.
I think Abby can tell us why it's Mom Rock.
Why? Which what?
Gin Blossoms.
Because it's in the grocery store all the time.
That's not a bad grocery store, though.
Dude, my Trader Joe's is like the shit. It's hard not to dance through my Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's can do a playlist. I was just I was at a store yesterday and it was terrible playlist. Like really beefed it with what they could have been. I forget what store it was, but the grocery store music, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Grocery store
Absolutely.
DJing, like it's calculated. There's psychological calculations, but like this song is gonna make somebody stay in an aisle 90 more seconds, which will turn into approximately $6.37 more purchasing if they stay in each aisle 90 more seconds. Like some corporate psychologist did the math on why Gin Blossoms needs to be played at the grocery store.
I fell for that because what was it that I sent you? Oh, it was Better Than Ezra. And I had to stop in the middle of the aisle so I could text Ryan and be like, they're playing Better Than Ezra in the grocery store.
And, like,
and then I looked up and I was like, oh, I'm going to take that.
Mm-hmm. It's for a reason. You're like, I can't leave
Bastards.
now. Every song is better than the last. Maybe I do need plums. I'm never going to eat these. I'll take them home and throw them out.
I didn't have that. No, you kind of.
What is that? What is that? Space Hog? I better get some more yogurt.
What is that? Toad the Wet Sprocket? Man.
Oh yeah.
Laundry detergent.
Yes.
Big head Todd and the. I guess I could always
wow.
use more paper towels, even though I have enough at home.
Wow. Okay, staying on the pod. This is just curiosity. When you go on a pod like We Might Be Drunk with Norman and Sam Morrill, is that you calling them up and be like, "Hey, new special, I'm going around," or is that your people doing it? I'm just curious.
No, I think Mark knew I was in New York for a minute, and so he hit me up to be on it. Some of them, some of it's PR, some of it's like, okay, I'm going to be in New York, so put me on as many podcasts, when I'm promoting, and some of it's people reach out to me as we're here today, and I'm like, okay, and yeah, so it's a little mix of all of it.
Did you or are you doing our friend Aaron Carnes' ska podcast?
Is that In Defense of Ska?
Yes.
I did it a while ago.
You did it. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, he's our buddy.
Did it. Yeah, he just hit me up about he's got a book coming out. He's gonna send me a book.
I love it.
Yeah, but it was a few months ago I did In Defense of Ska. I enjoy some ska. I sure enjoy some. Yeah.
We like some ska music. All right. I'm trying to think of a ska. Abby, you got a ska question now?
There's no questions about ska anymore. All the questions have been answered.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a me question. You're getting dressed. When you pull up your undies, are you stretching them out and then letting them slap back against your skin?
No,
let's
who's
start
doing
the
that?
day.
No.
Whap! I'm doing.
You do that? You do that
yeah.
to yourself?
Well, not like a painful thing. You're just like, all right.
Well, but the potential for it
sound?
to just no, I don't. No, because you risk you're at such a sensitive area of your body with elastic, and also now you're shortening the lifespan of those underpants. So I'm sliding them on like a real like a gal with some sexy stockings, just really taking my time, bringing them up to the waist,
and letting them go gently.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the difference between a carnival and a fair?
Oh, carnival's more unpredictable.
Okay.
Especially by the name fair. Just, carnival, the games are unfair. At a fair, there's not games. There's just foods and rides. Carnival will have all the trickery and the weird, like just a rolled up piece of carpet with googly eyes on it that you could win at the ring toss. If a fair just seems like there's like the food, but then like, oh, there's like a Geico booth or something for no reason. Like that's a fair. That's gonna have like corporations and shit. Carnival, real loose.
Carnival, every ride operator has an open wound.
Oh, there might be a tilt-a-whirl that is not even part of the traveling carnival, like just one independent tilt-a-whirl set up, and nobody's checked him for 7 years. He's like, he's with you or is he with you? I don't know. Nobody asked. He didn't have a permit. And he just packs up in the middle of the night and leaves after a few kids get hurt, On the ride. I wasn't like meaning like he's a creep. Maybe he is, but
If carnies work at carnivals, do fairies work at fairs?
oh no.
Oh,
They might.
These are the important questions that we need answers to.
Listen, ICP doesn't have the dark fair. They have the dark carnival.
That's a good point.
I think that's the first time ICP's come up on this pod.
Really?
I don't think so. I don't.
Should give him a chance. Really? We're both in Florida and this is the first time?
No, I think they have come up on the podcast before.
Yeah? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say I know they're from Michigan, but for some reason Florida has a lot of juggalo vibes.
Oh,
We do.
yes.
We do.
Also, Shane and I have discussed have come full circle on the old ICP. They're actually pretty solid group.
I agree. What was the thing about the one with the song about magnets?
They have a song where they're like at the end of their album, they're just like, oh, by the way, we've been Christian this whole time. We've been putting messages in our music to turn you Christian. That's hilarious. If it's true, it's preposterous. If it's just them screwing around, that's funnier than anything, any band I've heard. Oh, by the way, we've been putting secret messages in our music to turn you Christian. That fucking rules.
Oh, man. My face hurts from laughing. Oh, goodness. Okay. Do you know what the arrow? How did I write this? Do you know about the gas arrow?
On a car, yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
I just learned this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's brilliant. I was getting gas. We were talking I think we were talking about you, like prepping this last week. And I was like, I gotta get gas. And then I literally did the thing where I pulled in and I was like, shit. And she goes, you parked on the wrong side. I was like, I did. She's like, there's an arrow. And I was like, what? I've never known this.
How long have you owned your car?
I just got this Subaru in January.
Okay, that's not long enough time to you can still screw up which side it's on. I know the arrow rule so much, I now don't remember what side it's on. When I get gas, I have to look for the arrow. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, now it's like one of those things you learn. It's just common knowledge, I guess. It never hit me.
I'll ask you this. If you pull up on the wrong side, do you then pull the gas pump over to the side or do you repark the car so you're on the correct side?
It depends. I've done it at Costco and there's no back. You can't back. You can't you'd have to go back in the line.
You got to deal. Yeah, you got to deal with it.
So I just pull it aside, but I was at like a Shell or some shit and I did the 10
Okay.
reverse.
Okay. All right. Fair enough then.
Okay. Do you have a favorite garden hose setting?
I just became a new homeowner a few weeks ago, and one of the first things, I haven't even moved in yet. The house is empty, but I bought a garden hose. And, I used to think it was like the jet setting because I'm trying to clean my bikes off or something. Big fan of just the shower now. Because now I got to get the plants. I'm blasting the leaves off and everything.
Yeah.
Just a little sprink. And it's got the thumb. It's got a trigger on it, so I can go like low, medium, high. Medium, little tiny rain shower for each plant. So that's where we're at with it right now.
I want to thank you for answering some of these really dumb questions very earnestly and honest. And
well, you told me this is what it was going to be from the get-go. Like, we're going to ask you a lot of real dumb shit. I'm like, well, I said yes already, so here we are.
Well, we feel like as fans, this allows us and the listeners to get to know our guests more on a more personal and
you're not wrong. And I just
level.
used my hose today with the setting.
Shower. Yeah.
And the missus is big about the plants in the yard here, and she's got, it looks like one of them old timey. It looks like one of those like dumb MXPX microphones, the old rockabilly kind. But you just throw that, you just put that on the end and throw that out, and that's just a little bubbler. You put that right under a plant for a while.
Oh, wow.
Also, MXPX is going to put out a new album soon.
Yeah.
Throw that out there.
Well,
Speaking of our favorite Christian bands.
Dumb MXPX microphone. That is.
Oh, are you guys with the Lord? I don't know. Sorry.
I'm Jewish.
Okay.
So
Well,
sure.
I'm a
Lord,
gaytheist.
Lord adjacent. Yeah. Gay. Yeah. Gay. I was so excited to have like Sirius Radio and then have like they have the XM punk channel. I'm like, great. Punk's a 50-year-old genre with so much to choose from. We better have 4 Sum 41 songs every hour. Like this isn't just commercial radio all over again. Oh, MXPX 5 times now. MXPX in between the Sum 41 songs. I don't think I need to pay for this anymore. Sorry if that's what everybody likes.
There's only one station worth it on Sirius XM.
Which one is it?
The Verge. Yeah.
Which one's The Verge?
It's like 183. It's a Canadian like indie channel, and
really
it's fantastic. Yeah.
It's amazing.
All right. Okay. Because
Yeah.
sometimes that Lithium, that 90s rock channel,
That
it's
is.
like 90s alternative rock, it's the grocery store channel.
Yep. Now, yeah, absolutely.
It's the grocery store channel. And I'm fine. I'm like, cool. This is what I wanted to hear today.
I fuck with the new wave channel too, or first
Sure,
wave. Yeah,
sure,
that one's fun.
sure.
That one's like
That one
a good
has
driving.
Richard Blade. I like
Richard
him.
Blade. Yeah, give me some Erasure once in a while.
Oh god, that gets turned up. And Joe Jackson, we just talked about Joe Jackson. That gave me I was like, hell yeah. And then my daughter was in the car and I was like, yeah, listen to this.
That's always like, oh, who's this? Like that I know I've heard and never put a name to what I'm listening to. It always winds up being Joe Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always
Very
think I'm like,
prolific.
oh, it's Elvis
Mhm.
Costello or something. I'm like, no,
It's in the neighborhood of it.
Yeah.
But you're like, it's Joe Jackson fella. He did all right for himself.
He did all right. He
Did all right with some hits.
This is fun.
He's no Donnie Iris, I'll tell you that.
This is a question from me. Do you have any trampoline in a ditch bandanas left?
I think so. No,
I was gonna say dibs.
I have some of the faulty vinyl sitting here, but I don't know if I have the bandanas left. I have 2 for myself. Why, you need one?
I love I rock a bandana. It's hot in Florida. It's sweaty, and
I do the same. I don't have the hair keeping it back, so bandana works. What about a sweatband? You a sweatband guy? Jazzercise style?
when I play basketball, sweatband. Yeah,
Intimidating too. It's a power move.
Yeah, and high socks too.
High socks. You got the cuffs. You got the like sweat cuffs.
No, can't do it.
You don't have the on-court Chippendales outfit.
That's a fun question. Do you remember when those were like fashionably cool in like 2002? The
Sweatbands for the wrist.
Yeah,
They were cool.
well, okay, cool is a relative term, but like Sum 41 would wear them on, like the bass player wore them.
I wore them playing guitar because it was just, I would always get like sticky and like screw up my hands. So I always wore them for that. They serve a purpose.
I think it trickled down though to like regular non-instrument playing folk, and it was just like the guy at your community college was wearing them.
Just wearing some. It's got that Nike logo on it. Got to flex that label loyalty.
It was like Jack Daniels. It was like a free one that he got at like a weird bar opening or something.
Oh yeah, free merch. Yeah.
Abby, did you have any Red Bull headbands or wristbands? She worked for Red Bull.
Did you drive the little Mini Cooper with the can on it? How did you get that job? I always wondered, like, do they just give you a free car?
Well, for us, they kept it in a storage unit that had an office attached to it, but it was like a big, just one of those big storage places. My friend Chris worked there, and one day he was just like, I work at Red Bull. Do you want to work at Red Bull? And it was in college. And I was like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
it's mostly a word of mouth job, but it was really cool because you just literally drive around and give away Red Bull.
Did you have to fill out a W-2?
There's those jobs where it's like we're just gonna give it away. From like Liquid Death is unstoppable right now. I've never seen anybody buy one. I mean, I see it for sale in the store. I'm like, why? Just go anywhere. They'll have it.
Mm-hmm.
I used to live oh God, when they had the free cigarette ladies at the bar and I was smoking. Oh my God. Everybody I knew, go get the cigarettes, but I don't smoke. I don't give a shit. Go give them your license and get 4 packs of Camel Turkish Golds and give them to me. I will buy your drinks for the night.
I smoked those in college.
Oh, wow. I've never seen a cigarette person.
Oh yeah.
They would always show up and be like, the Bud Light girls and the cigarette lady would be at the bar at the same time. And I'm just like, okay, my college broke ass is real happy. Give me all of them.
Yeah. Gave me the cigarettes. Give me it was cigarettes. It was a Red Bull, and yeah, now it's Liquid Death is in every green room of every venue, and I don't know how they are sustaining that business. It's water. I mean, good for them. I'm glad it's not plastic bottles,
But it is still water.
It's a can of water.
I have this one plastic bottle I've just been refilling for like 2 weeks because I feel really bad about having it.
Yep, my disgusting Nalgene. It's probably eaten microplastics every time I've been drinking out of this 5-year-old jug.
Oh man, there's a I don't know. There's a tale about the Red Bull where when it started in London, they would fill up the trash cans around like the areas where their clubs were for the like overnight. They would put all the
outside the
empties
bars.
so that people would walk by and be like, what is that?
Really?
Yeah. And then in America, they gave attractive women and sent them to, college towns and bars and handed them out.
It wasn't just ladies.
I know, but it was 90-10.
I know that the athletes that are sponsored are not drinking Red Bull when you see them. That is water in there. But by orders of those energy drink companies, they're like, don't drink this when you're competing. It's not good. It's not good for you.
Well, and when Red Bull started, they had this whole thing about why their cans are 8.3 ounces. And it's like this perfect mix of all these different things. And they're like, and Monster was just starting and all those others. And they were doing big cans and flavors. And Red Bull was like, really like, we're never doing that. We're 8.3 regular or sugar-free forever. And now you go to the store and there's like 40 Red Bull flavors and sizes.
Yeah. I was glad when it was the little cans. I'm like, yeah, I definitely don't want more of this. Like this is to do a job. This is like medicine. Like, how about 24 ounces of Monster? That's no.
Yeah. It's also
I've never had a Monster.
I think I've had one.
Terrible.
Never had
Yeah.
it.
They're
like
all
flat.
bad.
Yeah, it's like
Have
hairspray.
you guys ever had Four Loko?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes.
Four Loko. Four Loko had me. I remember throwing up Four Loko and thinking I tore my insides up because it was red, and I'm like, oh, I'm bleeding internally because I never saw what it looked like. I was drinking it out of the can, and I didn't realize it was just thick red malt liquor.
Yeah. Ugh, gross.
Yeah.
Okay, Kyle, do you follow us on Instagram?
I don't think so. I follow very few people on Instagram. No, it's not personal.
It's okay. This is just a way for us to tell the listeners, follow Kyle Kinane. It's just his name, no underscores, no fucking bullshit. He doesn't need it, but this is our little plug moment.
We're
going to get to another one in a second. What musician, live or dead, would you want to bother in the same vein as bothering the band?
Ooh. Now you say alive or dead, so that opens up the parameters of real or fictional. So you still want a real musician, but they could be dead.
There are no rules on bothering the band. So
okay. I've brought this gentleman up in the past, and I truly think he's more punk rock than anything that's been intentionally punk rock. Uncle Pecos from the Tom and Jerry cartoons.
I know exactly what you're talking about. That's amazing.
Crambone. That dude just blows into town playing Crambone, breaks a guitar string, pulls a whisker off of an apex predator, and keeps jamming. That beats any kind of Robert Johnson at the Crossroads danger, any throwing a TV out of a window. That's like if an actual guitar player lost his guitar pick and just went into the ocean and pulled a tooth out of a great white to keep playing. And so I think Uncle Pecos is a musical badass. Legendary in that regards.
Okay, I think you're the first guest to go fictional. You're definitely the first guest to go animated. And what would you ask Uncle Pecos in the vein of bothering the band?
I'm just because I like the backstory along. Like, you're an uncle. Well, I don't even know. I know Uncle Pecos very well. I don't even know which one's Tom and which one's Jerry.
I have an idea,
Yeah,
but they never say it. I know the thing.
they don't. Which one's the mouse?
Jerry.
Jerry. Okay. Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty
Tomcat.
sure.
Tomcat. Yeah.
There it is.
And you'll never forget it now.
That's like the arrow on the gas thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now that I know that, I'm going to be real smug when I tell somebody that. You don't know? It's Tomcat. That's like I was that way with the arrow on the gas thing. I was a real dick to people that didn't know about it as soon as I found out about it. Because then Jerry, this alludes to the idea that Jerry has parents somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
That the Uncle Pecos came. And Pecos, all right. What are these Southwestern, perhaps Latino origins of this mouse? And so you just came from a dusty, the Southwest playing these tunes. You're just cruising through town. But then it along the lines of where's he played before? Who's he played with? He seems like a storied individual. I mean, it seems like he's got stories of like, I feel like if you were to talk to like, Waylon Jennings or Merle Haggard, they would be like, well, Uncle Pecos is like that guy just played a small gig. And that's really, he didn't, Nashville didn't respect him. And he wasn't a fan of the way the record industry was run. So he went out on his own. And that's why you only see him blowing through town. Also, I think his size and stature probably affected his career. So I want to know how that, like, did he play with backing musicians? Were they other mice? Was it just where do you get, what kind of luthier makes a guitar that small? There's just so many questions for a musician of that, such a large character in such a small package.
The best answer we've ever had.
The best, yeah.
I mean, there's a joke about the world's smallest violin, but whoever's making that has got to be making Uncle Pecos's guitar.
Oh man, I know what I'm doing after this. I know
Going to get some food at Starbucks.
Yeah, and then watching Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
On my greasy smartphone.
Going an egg witch. I'm just getting an egg witch from the Bucks.
What's next for Kyle Kinane?
Tonight, I don't know. It's gonna maybe go see a comedy show tonight. Go record some No Accounting for Taste tomorrow, and then tomorrow night leave for Cleveland and then Montreal, and then come back. And I'm just on the road forever because that's how comedy works. And I'm laughing because I'm tired at the concept of it. Because, I get back on the 30th. Oh, and then I go to Sacramento that weekend. And then Phoenix. And then Montana. And then Minneapolis. And then Michigan. And then Washington and Idaho. Indiana. Denver. I'm just looking at my calendar right now. That's just through September.
None of those were Florida.
No, Florida. Fuck.
Florida, you know what? I think people in Florida might need to start looking into traveling for their entertainment because your state's scaring people.
Yeah.
Your state's kind of creeping people out right now. It's like, when you have a friend, but his dad's creepy, so you can't go over to his house. That's kind of what Florida. Well, you guys can come by us anytime you want. My mom says it's cool. You could even stay here if you need to. Heard it's kind of rough at your house.
Yeah. Dad's not wearing a shirt as usual.
Yeah. Oh, dad doesn't even put the belt on his pants anymore. He just kind of swings it around, waiting for us to drop a Dorito on the floor.
It's the best description and most accurate.
I'm instantly thinking of my friend Justin's dad, by the way, like immediately, who right now is definitely drinking like a Red Dog beer. So from where it came, no one has
Red
an
Dog.
idea.
Red Dog. It's a personal stash if you still got Red Dog on hand. Or Florida, they're still selling them pretty readily available down there. I don't know. I don't mind a Red Dog. For the record, I do not mind a Red Dog.
Oh, yeah. This has been so much fun, dude. Everyone, please add to this. Everyone immediately go watch Shocks and Struts. It's so fucking good.
Thanks.
You just said you're tired from touring and comedy, and this is just a fan to you. Please don't ever stop. You bring so much joy.
Oh, I'm not tired. I'm not tired of it. Thank you. I'm not tired of it. I should correct. I'm not tired of it. I'm just tired in between things right now. That's all. I love it, man. It's kind of it's a real, it can almost be scary when you're like, oh, my dreams came true.
Yeah.
Like the exact thing I wanted to do as a child happened. And it does, every couple days I have to sit back and be very appreciative. So, I start bitching about this or that. Like everybody, even doing something you like, if you're doing it for long enough, you'd start finding the faults in it or what needs to be improved. And those complaints with other comedians, like you start bitching about their travel or this or that. And then everybody worth their salt will step back and be like, yeah, but is the electricity on because we told jokes this month? All right, let's stop. Let's see what we're really complaining about. So yeah, it's pretty great. I'm just on the road forever. I'll get there. I'll get to Florida. I'll be there.
Well, we'll be there too, man. We'll just you won't even know we're there. We'll be there. We'll post photos.
Where are you guys? You're in Orlando, judging by what's up on the wall behind you?
we both grew up in Orlando. We've been friends. We've been music friends since middle school.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm in South Florida, just west of Fort Lauderdale, and she's east of Orlando on the beach.
Okay. Do you guys go to is Fest part of your yearly endeavor being in Florida then? Is it kind of
It's on the radar as always, but it's a little trek for me. And but we know plenty of friends and guests who go, and it's definitely on our radars. It's like
it's always a good time.
It's been a while though.
Yeah, I did it last year. I'll be back again soon. I'm not doing this year, but we'll be back over there.
Very cool. Well, if you come to Florida, we'll see you. Anything else you want to tell the people? And
I want to tell the people. No, I just best way to find out where I'm playing is my account on bands in town. Like I make the announcements on Instagram and everywhere else, but bands in town, I send out direct, like I'm coming to this town this weekend. So you'll hear from me if I'm playing your town soon.
Oh, that's cool. I'm happy you keep that up.
Easiest way for, yeah, that's been, I mean, I don't know the effectiveness of it, but it's nice to know like, oh, I can look at the amount of people that live in Cleveland this week and be like, hey, everybody within 100 miles of Cleveland, I'll be there this weekend. Here's a direct link to get tickets. So you're not going to some scam website or something else. This is the venue website. So that's what I use primarily.
Very cool. Well, we can't thank you enough. You just talked about, waking up and realize, oh, you're living your dream. We, in a very small parallel to that, we get to talk to our literal favorite people. And so thank you for doing this. We fucking love your work. That's it, man.
Well, thanks for having me. Thanks for having me, you guys. Stay up down there in Florida. That's gnarly.
We'll try.
Fight the good fight. Fight. Oh, red dog, baby.
It's so good, dude. Man. Well, I hope you heal up. And that's our show. And thank you.
All right. Thank you guys. We'll see you in Florida.
Thanks, Kyle.
Bye, y'all.